Oil might have been the savior of whales since before oil, we used whale oil to light our homes. Did you know that there was a point when oil was the savior of mankind? At the dawn of the previous century, all urban lighting was done with whale oil. Whales were on the brink of extinction. Who came into the picture? Oil. Oil prevented whales from becoming extinct. However, today, oil is frowned upon by many as it is considered one of the main reasons for climate change. Currently, oil is one of the main sources of energy. Humanity's major problem is acquiring energy, which is why we are always in search of more sustainable options. Let's begin by understanding the issue of CO2 emissions. Carbon dioxide is among the primary greenhouse gases, and its emission is a top factor for global warming. According to the International Energy Agency, the transport sector is responsible for about 24% of global CO2 emissions. With more than 3 billion vehicles on the road worldwide, it is crucial that we find ways to reduce these emissions. The fuel we use in transport is derived from petroleum. But are there more sustainable alternatives? In this video, we're going to explore eFuels. After all, what are eFuels? In fact, it's not just a fuel, but eFuels. That's the name Porsche gives to its new synthetic fuels, in which it has invested heavily. To understand it better, let's look at the growing demand for automobiles. In 2020, there were 74 million vehicles on the road, and this number is expected to increase to 88.3 million in 2024. This shows a clear upward trend in the number of cars on the road, which reinforces the need for cleaner and more sustainable alternatives. There are several approaches to reducing CO2 emissions. 1. Electrification. Electric cars are a promising solution, but the full transition could take decades. 2. Advancements in engine efficiency. More efficient engines burn less fuel. 3. Usage of biofuels. Fuels made from organic materials can be less polluting. 4. eFuels. This is where Porsche's innovation comes in. eFuels are synthetic fuels made from water and carbon dioxide captured from the air, offering a sustainable alternative to traditional fossil fuels. eFuel is one of these alternatives. It is a synthetic gasoline made of water and carbon dioxide. The aim is to create a carbon-neutral fuel that can be employed in vehicles with internal combustion engines, offering almost carbon-neutral emissions. Porsche isn't alone in this venture. Companies like AF Global, Siemens Energy, ExxonMobil, and others in the industry are also participating in the development of this innovative fuel. But after all, will this fuel be enough for ordinary cars, and how much does it cost? Watch until the end to find out the answer. But how exactly is eFuel produced? The process starts with the use of wind energy to generate hydrogen from water through electrolysis. Next, carbon dioxide is captured directly from the air using a technique called direct air capture. Finally, hydrogen and carbon dioxide react to create methanol, which is then converted into synthetic gasoline. But why wind power? Wind energy is a clean and renewable energy source, essential for ensuring that the eFuels production process is sustainable. Porsche's pilot project is located in Chile, a region with ideal conditions for wind power generation. The goal is to produce about 55 million liters of eFuel by the middle of the decade. If all goes well, production could be expanded to 550 million liters. Now let's talk about the environmental benefits. The use of eFuels can significantly reduce carbon dioxide emissions. Because eFuels are produced from carbon dioxide captured from the air, the carbon cycle is virtually closed, resulting in very low net emissions. This is crucial for combating climate change and reducing the carbon footprint of transport. In addition, the production of eFuels can help diversify the energy mix and reduce dependence on fossil fuels. This is especially important in a global context where energy security and sustainability are growing priorities. But as with any new technology, there are challenges. The cost of production is still high, and the infrastructure for large-scale production needs to be developed. However, with continued investments and technological advancements, it is possible for eFuels to become a viable and competitive alternative. Speaking of challenges, it's worth remembering the history of oil in Wales. The discovery of kerosene as a substitute for whale oil for street lighting certainly saved whales and greatly slowed whaling. This shows how a new technology can solve pressing environmental problems, but also how new issues can arise. And how does this relate to today? The indiscriminate use of oil has caused a lot of environmental damage, such as oil spills that pollute the oceans and affect marine life. A recent example is the oil spill in northeastern Brazil that caused the death of multiple species and damaged coastal ecosystems. So while acknowledging oil's historical importance, we need to find more sustainable and responsible alternatives. As an example of putting it all together, the Portuguese company Lipor, working with P2X Europe and Veolia, is developing an innovative project to turn municipal waste into sustainable aviation fuel, also known as SAF, sustainable aviation fuel. This project is pioneering in Europe and is being done at Lipor's energy recovery plant in Maia, near the port. CO2 is captured directly from the exhaust gases that are made when the municipal waste is incinerated. About 60% of the plant's CO2 emissions are biogenic, originating from organic materials. Through electrolysis, using renewable energy like wind power, water is split into hydrogen and oxygen. Green hydrogen is combined with captured CO2 to produce e-fuels such as kerosene and e-diesel, which can be used in aviation. This process is known as power-to-liquid (PTL). What about the cost? A liter of e-fuel is expected to cost around 10 euros. This is comparable to the cost of a meal for 4 people. For Brazilians, this amount is equivalent to buying an apartment in the city center. In addition to the cost, it's important to mention that e-fuel will be able to be used in cars with internal combustion engines, which means it won't be necessary to replace the entire current fleet of vehicles. What about you? What do you think of this idea? Are e-fuels the future of fuels? What would you use in your car? Leave your opinion in the comments. That was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching this far. Fui!